Hello, good evening, my name is Morganon. I bid you well, welcome back to Risen. Yes, another video in as many weeks, wouldn't you know it. So last episode we finally got in with the mages. We spoke with the Inquisitor, and he has told us about his plan and his theory for what is presently plaguing all of society, really. And we need to get into the Undermountain in order to learn anything more. So, to accommodate that, we need to go find all the crystal discs, like the one what Severin gave us for Master Cyrus. But, more importantly, we now have access to all the magical skills I've been saving up learning points for, and I'll be honest, I thought I'd have a little bit more by the time we got here. But we make do.
Well, has Inquisitor Mendoza revealed his plans to you?
Yes, he has.
It is time. You must study the power of the runes. You will have need of this.
What will I need to do?
All power has its roots in learning. You must start by studying the Book of Runes. You must do that as soon as possible. To access the power within runes, you must first understand the seals which protect them. Once you are ready, we will examine these seals together.
So, the way this works is that there are 4 runic seals, and those are how the runes are classified. Now, we have the ability to turn runes into magic scrolls, but to avoid the waste of paper there, we could find the runes and use them directly. We only have 2 very basic ones here now, but as we get more advanced ones, they will be higher runic seals. Now this, all in all, is, even though it's the sort of soul defining skill that the mages have, since the Warriors of the Order can also use crystal spells, it is a lot less useful than it sounds. Since you have the ability to make scrolls from the runes without learning the seals, you can make as many as you need and as many as you can afford to, you know, get paper and everything for. There's just not a whole lot of utility out of getting the seals for the runes. It does mean you don't have to worry about running out. I don't know if there's a limited amount of, like, parchment you can get in the game, but it's just not something we're going to make use of, and I really want to focus on our main damage-dealing spells that we're going to use this run, which are the crystal magic.
I am ready to study crystal magic.
Have you chosen which type of crystal you wish to study? I am an adept of the fire crystal and can teach you its secrets.
So there are other crystals?
If you wish to learn about the projectile crystal, speak to Master Vitus. Master Pallas can teach you the secrets of the frost crystal.
Master Pallas?
It has been a long time since he instructed a student, but there are few who know more about crystals than he.
So he showed us, or he got us to acquire the fire rune as part of our initiation, and we found the magic crystal down in the cellar, the secret cellar. But we don't have the frost crystal yet, and we actually get that from Master Pallas once we inquire about it. I will go over them all in a moment, but I do want to mention, if you are a Donsman and you want to learn how to make scrolls, obviously we discovered that you can do that as early as this, you know, getting into the monastery by talking to Master Illumar. And in order to get a quill, you have to go talk to the novice Erlan, who will put you on the right path. You actually just buy it from Casper.
I need some writing materials.
An outlaw keen on writing magic. It takes all sorts.
It does. Now, can you tell me where I can get them?
Well, quills are rare, so they're in great demand. If I were you, I'd talk to Casper.
I heard you can supply writing materials.
Certainly can, but now's not a good time.
Why's that?
I'm running low on stock at the moment. I have blank parchment, but no more quills.
Can you get one?
I'll need a few things. Get me a bone and 6 grave moth wings.
Where can I get the trophies you need?
Well, you could go hunting, but if you're not a hunter, there might be some around the monastery somewhere.
Where exactly?
Well, the cemetery's your best bet for a bone. Just don't go dismembering any old masters. That tends to upset people. And you'll need to persuade Yoki to let you in. As for the wings, well, a few of the recruits keep some in their chambers. Just don't get caught rummaging around.
Here's the bone and moth wings you needed.
Excellent. Here's your quill. Take care of it.
But, well, you don't buy it. You actually trade some random materials, which you will surely have by the time you get here, if you haven't sold them all. But, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward process to be able to do that.
Can you teach me the projectile spell?
First, you'll require a projectile crystal.
I have found the projectile crystal.
Very good. Now I can instruct you.
Alright. Well, we'll talk to Master Palace last, before we decide on a path.
I would like to learn to use the frost crystal.
You wish to study? My role is to administrate within this community. This is paramount. If you wish for help from the community, you should first help the community yourself.
And what form would that help take?
A donation of 1,000 gold coins to the monastery. Then I will instruct you.
That's an expensive demand.
Everything has its price. If you wish to barter, there are a few things I require. Bring them to me, and I shall reduce the cost in gold.
What do you need?
Firstly, and most importantly, the cold heart of a bog body. I also require a small sapphire.
So we have a bog body heart, but we don't have the sapphire. I don't remember where you get a sapphire. You can get gemstones from mining stuff. I don't think sapphire does not come from the gold or iron veins that we found. So we would have to just stumble across it someday. On the subject of which crystal you want to learn, you're not really going to get enough learning points throughout the game to learn all 3. So bear that in mind. And each of them kind of has a somewhat unique quality to them. The magic bullet is basically just a fast projectile. So you cast it way faster than the other 2. You pretty much use it like a very slow machine gun. Whereas the fireball and the frost crystal have a sort of charging animation before you can fire it. The fireball's unique quality is that as you advance the... as you get more skill in it, the area of effect increases slightly. The direct projectile, I think, does the most damage, and the area of effect is just some lesser splash damage, and all of that increases as you go. The frost spell, meanwhile, has the ability to freeze a target in place, but it does not have any splash effect from what I saw.
Be careful of
But
others.
the freeze effect and damage obviously improve as you advance, so enemies will be frozen longer. Now, when you freeze an enemy with a frost spell, as soon as you land another hit, they will be unfrozen. I think you can just keep hitting them with a frost spell, and they will not unfreeze, though. I will have to verify that, probably off screen, just with some tests, and I'll confirm it here. The fireball spell, since it has no real utility, and enemies, I don't think, tend to be grouped up enough to make use of the splash damage, I find is the least useful overall. For sheer DPS, the magic bullet outclasses them all by far, at least in my experience, and it's the one I'm going to focus on. If you have spare learning points, I would put them into the frost spell so that you can at least use it to split up groups. You know, freeze 1 or 2 targets so you can focus on the last one, that kind of thing. But other than that, you're really going to want to focus your learning points into mana. We have a fair amount now, and I think in the last episode I suggested that the cap might be 100. That's actually not the case. The cap is at 200, and there's no diminishing return, so there's no concern that mana will start costing more learning points as you increase it. So once you get to 200, you're capped out. Now, getting anywhere near that while being able to invest in other things is probably a foregone conclusion. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I probably will take a handful. I guess we'll see as we go. We may start leveling up a lot quicker as we go along, so I'm going to hang on to the permanent potions for now. We will be able to make a lot of those once we learn some advanced alchemy. So, beyond that, I'm just going to put all the points into the projectile spell now, so that way we can finally see what this game looks like when you can actually deal damage. We got a glimpse of that when I was playing as the Donsman, of course, because he actually has some skill. But let's use Casper as a little bit of a punching bag here, just to see what kind of damage we're talking about here.
Careful, careful! Necessary. Stop that!
Yeah, you gonna do anything about it? Nope. Nobody cares. I am a mage. I am above the law. So anyway, that wasn't brilliant damage. But you saw the firing rate. If you just hold down the attack button, you fire the projectiles as fast as you physically can.
What can you...
So, let's continue to learn.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
There are different skills to be learned with this crystal. The first to master is how to increase the damage it causes. Focus your energy on that.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
Let us now focus your energy on shooting your projectiles faster. Concentrate your power. Send out shots more frequently.
So let's take a look at that, because I think he's bullshitting us there.
You think that's the reason they teach magic?
I personally don't think that's...
No magic. That's the way.
Shut your face. I am the mage. Magic is what I do. But yeah, I personally don't think that's any faster. And he will continue to say that we're getting faster, and I will continue to not believe him.
What can you... Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
The destructive power of your projectiles is strong, but it is not yet sufficient to kill every opponent immediately.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
A projectile may not cost you much strength, but it still has a cost. Learn to choose your targets and to finish them off, or you'll only waste your powers.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
Concentrate. Use your focus to generate projectiles even faster. The damage your projectile does could make the difference between life and death. It's worth the time to create a more powerful projectile. And if you draw more power from the crystal, you can make your projectiles fly faster to their target.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
Use the crystal to pressure your opponents. Be precise with your targets if you wish to inflict the most damage, and this will give any opponent less time to escape.
Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
You are harnessing the crystal, and the damage you cause is strong. Remember, keep your distance, keep your magical power high, then no one will be able to defeat you.
I'm gonna pop these 5 points I'm carrying now into mana.
I want to increase my
Empty your spirit, a shell.
Very good.
Yes, yes. So it puts us at 72. So we should be able to fire up to 14 projectiles without needing to reload. Now let's see how it compares.
Careful, murderer!
What do you have in your hand?
I can't cast without mana.
What is he carrying?
You die! Murderer!
Well, who are you going after now? Alright. Well, Vitus suddenly came around to deciding murder is not justified. I don't understand what Casper had in his hand.
Careful, careful!
Anyway. He didn't seem to draw it again. I'm just curious if I can get that to happen a second time.
Careful!
It happened! What is he holding? I have to get him to ragdoll a different way so I can actually see it. He's like just got a random red crystal in his hand. It doesn't resemble the crystals that we use. But he shouldn't have a crystal of any kind.
Careful!
Look at that! What is he holding? It's just a massive red shaft. He's got like something in his other hand too. He's just got a mushroom in his other hand. What is happening? I've never seen that in my life. What a weird thing to just ragdoll with random objects in your hand. I get other people to do that? Okay, he died too quickly. Casper's a little tougher customer. Alright, well that's very strange. Anyway, as you can clearly see, all the talk about projectiles getting faster is bullshit. The fire and ice spell will get faster in the sense that the charging animation, which looks a little something like this, does speed up as you get more skill. So you can see that the Fuego spell has a small splash area. That gets slightly larger as you go. But, as I said, the only other spell I think is actually useful will be the ice crystal. We could get it now, if I wanted to pay extra without having the sapphire. But I'm not really gonna make use of it, at least not anytime soon. I really want to show off how effective just having the DPS of the projectile spell really ends up being. So, it's time to make a move. We need to talk to the Don in order to make the... Why did recording save? Oh boy, were we having some problems, and I hope they have all stopped. So, turns out I ran out of disk space. Recording just stopped. So I had to go sort that out. Started the recording again, but apparently the game has this recurring issue where even when I'm moving around, mousing around, whatever, as soon as I click, for some reason the game still thinks the cursor is outside the window, so it minimizes the game and half the time crashes it. After that, booted it back up, started recording again, went along, recording stopped again, out of nowhere, for no good reason. Wouldn't restart. The NVIDIA UI was like bugging out, and then randomly, after I'd closed the game, it restarted itself and I couldn't get it to stop. So, yeah, we're having some issues. Taking care of it. Restarted my PC. Holy shit. I apparently lost my aim in the meantime. Oh, good news. If you are using magic, you can still dodge around. Much like you can with melee, so it's actually not too terrible to get stuck in melee range. Oh, we really don't need these anymore. Probably not much of that, so we'll move this here. Would be handy to get more mana someday, though. Anyway, we do need to talk to Severin. And he should have another crystal disc for us, even though he gave us the first one. I am stuck on a chicken. Tripping on a cock.
How are things here?
We're constantly having to fight off gnomes. One or two are good sport, but get a pack of them and they're trouble. I don't want to die at the hands of a damn gnome. Here they come again. To arms! To arms!
Don't sound too excited. So the gnomes literally just spawn in, but luckily they are easily dealt with. One magic bullet. Just mind you don't hit a dummy.
I need more mana.
Shit. Dealt with.
Lovely.
Lovely indeed.
Your gnome problems are over.
If only every problem could be solved so easily, eh? Thought they were just biding their time. They're certainly more tenacious than normal, and more organized.
More organized? You mean the gnomes have a leader?
Well, there's talk, but it's just rumor and tittle-tattle.
There's often no
Oh,
smoke
that
without
tittles my
fire.
tattles.
But this is just a fairy story. Some of the men heard the gnomes talking about the Geiger, but that's a myth.
Apparently the gnomes
Doesn't
speak
really
English.
Exist, and we haven't seen anything unusual.
Sounds like a campfire tale.
Yes, but the gnomes have changed. They've never acted like this before.
The Inquisitor sent me. He's waiting for the delivery of a crystal disc.
Damn, I knew he wouldn't forget about it. Blasted gnomes.
They stole it.
Afraid so.
The Inquisitor won't be happy about that.
I don't have enough men to fend them off.
So what am I meant to tell the Inquisitor? Sorry, you can't have your crystal disc back. The gnomes are using it as a kitchen table.
We've got to get it back somehow.
Good luck with that.
Hey, this is now as much your problem as it is mine.
Right, sure. It was bound to be down to me. How about I look for this crystal disc?
That would help us both out.
I must be in a charitable mood.
Look, I'm sorry. You think I like asking?
So, where are these gnomes?
The gnomes usually come from the east.
The east? What's there?
There's a fair bit of land, then a rocky peninsula. You can reach that via a long rope bridge.
You think the gnomes are on the peninsula?
Our patrols haven't found a base anywhere else.
Well, I suppose it's worth a look then, since nothing else is going to get done without us. I like how snarky the hero got in that conversation. I mean, he does get sarcastic quite a bit, but that's the closest he's ever come to raising his voice. And it's kind of amusing. Oh, you know what? We have this. I am the dumbest. Could have been using that the whole time for some extra shots. Anyway, while we're in the neighborhood, we can finally clear what's along this, like, ridge here, including these mouths. What have been bugging Derry's pigs. Not bad. Shit. Unfortunately, the projectiles are not so fast that they might as well be hit scanned, so you do have to try and lead your shots as much as possible in the crosshairs as they well, whatever you'd call this. Doesn't really give you a whole lot of precision. Okay, that's done. Now, if you are feeling bold, you can take a gander inside this ruin here, but there's only so far you can go at this point, and we will be heading back in there for a main mission a lot later on. Now, these gnomes are the ones that were bothering Severin earlier, and we just didn't bother to deal with. Very handy that one shot does it. And I believe one of these gnomes, yep, this one here, is carrying the tool bag. So that is the second of 15 tool bags right here. As I said, I will be cataloging these all on the map as we go, so that eventually we'll have a complete picture of where they all are. Oh, there's even a second one here. So 3 of 15. You will get lucky sometimes, where multiple gnomes in a given area shall be carrying the tool bags.
Gotta start again. Damn.
Damn.
Did it.
Well, there's a small sapphire. What am I, have I leveled up? No. When to my next level up? It ain't far. 400 XP. we happen to get that... Well, we should be able to get that pretty easily. Just kill a few things around here, complete this quest, and then... and get the last level of magic bullet while we're at it. And I suppose get the frost crystal just in case we ever end up needing it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I guess we don't get a reward for that. That sucks. Apparently you do need to do that in the first chapter. Oh, someone's got a stash here. Now, I ain't much of a, connoisseur of the devil's lettuce, but I don't think the word reefer refers to, like, a joint. I think reefer is just a word, like a broad alternative term for marijuana. So you don't refer to it as a reefer. You just call it reefer. But what do I know? Alright, so unfortunately we don't get more XP for that because I'm a dumb idiot. I am tempted to sell the shield just because it does look silly carrying it around as a mage. But to do so means I don't have it if I do end up wanting it. And it does give defense, which is unfortunate because it's kind of ugly. So even if we aren't using it in combat, it still has an advantage. Alright, well, I'm gonna just zap a few things around here so that we may level up and just get this stuff taken care of. And then we'll move on to the dawn. So there's a handy gander at how the teleport stones work. Unlike Gothic 1 or 2, they don't require mana. The casting animation, I actually don't know if you can get interrupted out of it. It's very similar to how they work in Gothic 3, but I just don't know if you have any invincibility when you use it. Those will come in quite handy, as you may have seen when we acquired it from Mendoza. It said 1 of 14, so there's a total of that many that we will find ultimately in the game. We start finding them quite a bit at this point.
What can you teach me? Teach me what you know about the projectile spell.
You have truly mastered the powers of this crystal. I can teach you no more. Keep your lessons in your heart and your mind.
Indeed. So we are the Machine Gun Man. And just while we're here, pick up the Frosty spell. What? I had the small sapphire. You not want it?
I have the cold heart of a bog buddy, as he requested.
Good. I shall reduce the price of your training.
Oh, there. I guess you had to get the bug buddy heart first.
Good. Very good. I have all I need now.
Please teach me about the frost crystal.
We can begin as soon as you are ready. Here is your crystal.
Alright. We will keep that as a utility spell. Let's just give a quick demonstration here. We have a willing participant.
What are you doing?
Okay, never mind. I guess it does not offer any freeze ability at this point. Now you will notice there is a different defense stat for each of the 3 magic damage types here with the crystals. There's nothing else in the game that deals magic damage. So... Or, sorry, that deals any of those damage types, the elemental damage types. Also, we're supposed to get another bed up in the upper quarter, I'm pretty sure, but I ain't fussed about it now. But yes, much like Gothic 3, I really don't feel like the distinction matters a whole lot, because generally everything gives the same resistance value. Same thing with a blunt blade and piercing. There's not many things that are less resistant to any one of those damage types. Now, we'll run into a few enemies, I'm sure, that are, like, immune to fire, for example. But, in general, that doesn't really matter. And that seems to be a common theme with Piranha Bytes games. I remember in Risen 3 in particular, there was like an ice and a fire spell, and it really didn't matter which one you used 90% of the time, and if you ran into an enemy that was immune to one, you just used the other. And then, ultimately, it was a lightning spell that I'm pretty sure nothing was immune to and did more damage than either of those, so you just used that for the rest of the game. But they be how they be. Magic Bullet will carry us through most of our trials and tribulations going forward. But, for now, I'm gonna just hop on over to, well, fast forward to when we're near the Don's camp, because we got a few things to do in that direction. Oh, yeah.
Grave moths are all dead.
That's great. The pigs will be happy. I'm Derry, by the way.
Derry, guardian of the pigs.
That's me. Here, take some coins. The pigs say thank you.
You know, it's one thing to be that, like, attached to your livestock. When it's like chickens or cows, you know, they're giving you eggs or milk. But pigs, you raise pigs solely to eat them. You aren't getting pig milk. You aren't getting pig's eggs. They're raised for bacon. Don't get that attached to them. Like, they will be dinner at some point. You can't make the excuses that you'd make for other kinds of livestock. Oh well. Dairy, live the life you want to live. Anyway, let's move on. Now, old Yan never really gets anything more. But we did get a quest a long time ago from Severin to go inquire about the fellows at the ruins over here. There's some baby stingrats, what we never dealt with. Someone left a comment on my last video that they believe that enemies you leave in previous chapters will respawn, meaning you maximize your XP by clearing them all out now. That's not true. Enemies don't respawn. New spawns get added in subsequent chapters. So enemies you leave behind will simply get new friends. So it's not a big deal. You don't have to kill them all as soon as possible to maximize your XP. Now, one thing that is a bit frustrating about this game, and is true of most Piranha Bytes games, Gothic 3 being the only exception, there's no stat for magic that increases the damage you deal. For the projectile spells, all we get that increases damage is to improve the relevant skill for that spell. But we don't have like a, you know, wisdom does not improve your magic damage. There's no ancient knowledge stat that just makes, you know, scales the damage of your spells a little bit more. Or your healing spells, for example. That would be really nice, because there's a lot of enemies who almost very nearly die from one projectile. Which means we always have to cast a second to kill them. And there's no point in the game where we will be able to cross that little magic pixel they got. So that is one unfortunate truth of the projectile. And I guess a reason why you might want the other spells. Since those spells, you know, we could spend 10 mana casting 2 of these. Or 8 mana casting 1 fireball. You could, I suppose, in theory, optimize your mana usage that way. But frankly, I cannot be bothered. Let's find Randolph.
A new
Rudolph, sorry.
Finally, someone I can send. Thank the gods.
You talking to me?
Certainly am. Everyone else is busy, pretending to be busy, or is just lazing around. And I have to get a message to Severin. He's helping process the artifacts at a farm. I think they call it Tilda's farm. I need every man to clear these artifacts. And I mean every man. But someone has to tell Severin our situation. Tell him we need support. We haven't got the manpower we need.
Severin sent me. I'm to report to you.
Good. What did he say? Is he sending reinforcements? He'd better be.
He can't. He says he has big problems himself.
Blast. I thought this would happen. He's going to just leave us here. What a nightmare. We've got a choice. We work faster, or we never get out of here. Thanks for the update. Here. I haven't gold to thank you. Please, take these potions. Go to Severin, and tell the beggar. Just tell him we're still alive.
Oh, wow.
No mercy for beasts.
Apparently they were not fans of those things.
What is this?
They won't get away from that on the outside.
I got him, boys. Don't worry. It's funny that he's complaining that he doesn't have enough men here. Severin has nothing but novices. You actually have a couple... I almost call them Templars, but a couple actual warriors of the Order here. Not to mention just twice as many bodies, at least. But yes, nobody ever has enough help. Right, we're heading this way because I want to check in on old Robart's farm. Wow. Because there actually is something to see there. Yeah, as good as the projectile spell is, I just suck at aiming it. Oh, Nomies. Forgot about these boys. Guess we'll take care of them now, just while we're in the neighborhood. There's a tool bag. So here you go. Next spot. That is 4 so far. We are collecting a lot of plants. I know I've gone over it before, but I haven't really been keeping up with it. A lot of these plants here, Hero's Crown, Pixie Hat, Ogre Root, Wanderlust, Druid's Hemlock. You see, these all give permanent stat bonuses. But the Hero's Crown is sort of like the King Sorrel of this game. If you want to make a permanent potion, that is sort of the base ingredient you need. Plus one of the more powerful,
no mana.
You know, specific stat items. I found a recipe there. Don't let me forget to read it. I don't mean to get this sidetracked, but I keep seeing things I need to go after. Oh, yes. Ah, trying to flank. Leather pig. Alright. Recipe. What do we got? I think it was one of these potions. We ought to learn how to make at least a basic potion soon. It'll make a big difference. Now that we have mana, or magic, we're burning through mana like nobody's business. Never actually noticed this little nook here. Missed opportunity to add a little secret, but oh well. Hey, Robart. You found some company.
Thanks again for helping me.
You helped me. I owed you that.
You've met some outlaws then? Jan came for me. Thank you for sending him. Well, I hope you find somewhere safe to stay. I guess I'll have to try to make some kind of life here myself.
We all have to make the best of things.
I'm fine. And take care of yourself. I hope things work out for you.
Oh, I'm in a much higher station than you are, but well, we all make do.
I have some bruggelweed for you.
Good job. Here's your gold.
What can you teach me about the bait?
We don't have the learning points, so we can't do that yet.
I have some
big money. Now, if you don't want to do the exploit where you beat up Robart for an infinite amount of bruggelweed to just keep selling him, you can instead, as a sort of compromise, sell him enough bruggelweed, like pretty much all the bruggelweed you can find, and then use your pickpocket opportunity to take it all back. But that's a one-time thing, so however many bruggles there are in the world, you can at most, without a true exploit, get twice that much money. Back to the old swamping grounds.
I don't want anything to do with you lot. Whatever you want, I ain't talking.
Alright, he's not a fan of the magicians.
Hey, come here. I need to talk to you.
And who are you?
Never mind who I am. My boss is interested in you and what you can do. Wants me to make you an offer.
Who is your boss?
A powerful man.
More powerful than the Don?
This isn't a pissing contest. I've told you what you need to know.
Who let you in here?
That doesn't matter. What matters is, I can get to you anywhere you are. My boss can reach you wherever you go.
How can I refuse an offer I can't refuse?
We need a smart operator, and my boss thinks that's what you are.
You're one of Captain Romanov's men.
Smart bastard, aren't you? That's why you're the man for this job.
What does your boss want from me?
Help. That's all. You can find something that a certain person needs, and give them information they need to make a decision.
Who am I supposed to help?
A woman. She has a small tavern down on the harbour quay in the town.
Patty, yeah, I know.
Pretty clued up, aren't you?
What has Patty got to do with this?
Don't worry. She's not going to get hurt. Just visit her and do what she asks of you.
That's all?
Yeah. Just do what she asks.
This isn't some strange way of her asking me out, is it?
Stop asking questions and do it. You'll find it easier on yourself. And you'll get paid too. How could you refuse that?
All right. I'll call on Patty.
Good. Why don't you go and do that now? You'll hear from us later. Have fun with Patty.
Have you heard of any discs? Crystal discs?
I've heard of many things. Perhaps I've heard of these discs. Help us, and I'll tell you more.
Well, aren't you just full of secrets? Secrets that you keep very poorly. So Balturo, not to be confused with a certain indie card game from last year, is a pirate and one of Romanov's men. And we will soon find that Romanov has a great many men and a great many connections here. And pissing him off may not have been the wisest move. But we'll manage. Anyway, back to the Big Don himself.
Is it true that you do business with Romanov?
What is wrong with that? Pirates act for themselves and for gold. The Inquisitor acts for his faith. Me, for my people. We all have our own beliefs. We all act in our own interest.
I come from the Inquisitor. He would like to suggest a deal with you.
Then let me hear what that fine gentleman has to offer.
He's looking for a set of crystal discs.
And what does that have to do with me?
He wants you to get them.
What does he offer in return for these discs?
The gold from the ruins. The ones you currently occupy in any case. Take that, and he won't trouble you.
That is indeed an offer. Agreed then. Discs for the ruins. Tell me, what is the Inquisitor planning to do with these discs?
He needs the discs to open a gate into the mountain.
Where does this gate lead?
The only way to find out is to go in. But the gate must be secure for a reason. There is something behind it.
So that is why the Inquisitor has come here. He suspects the secret that explains these temples, these storms, lies behind this gate.
We haven't found anything else that explains them.
Well then, we had better be prepared for whatever nightmares lie inside, just in case the monsters kill you and your Inquisitor.
Do you know where these crystal discs are?
I have one object that matches that description. You can take your discs. Go and take them to your Inquisitor. My actions show trust and honor. I hope your actions will do the same.
Just one. The Inquisitor needs several. And if he's right, and we need to get in there to save the island...
Well, we have a new excavation in a temple to the east, not far from your monastery. My man Fincher is overseeing work there. It's a large ruin, hasn't been excavated by your men yet. Maybe one of these discs is there. Talk to Fincher. He will show you where the temple is.
What makes you think a disc is in the temple to the east?
Well, can you think of anywhere else? Searching a large temple has to make more sense than poking around in the woods. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, it's certainly a sensible place for them to be. You notice he capitulated quite easily. I don't know if capitulated is quite the right term, but yeah, he was very...
Gold and water. The secret treasures of the desert.
Okay, I was not expecting him to have actual words to say there. What about this one?
Boom Banger Bang. The worst failures in alchemy.
Huh. I did not know there were such books. Ooh, recipe. Okay, so that's for the baby potion. Which will be a handy thing to learn. But yeah, you notice he gave out the disc quite easily. He was very amenable to the Inquisitor's offer. It doesn't sound like the Inquisitor was offering him much. He basically said, we won't bother you if you continue to plunder the ruins you are already plundering. He didn't say we're giving you the city back. He didn't say we're going to stop conflict with you entirely. But if we are on the Don's side, he's much more stubborn, as we will learn, and has a lot more to say. And I will show that, I suppose, right now. We'll wrap up with that. And next episode we'll proceed from here, go speak with Fincher, and go see what Balatro wanted us to deal with Patty. Anyway, let's, well, I'll make a save here. Mage 7. Keep up the, incorrect numbering scheme here. Oh. That sucks. Alright, just for a little behind-the-scenes, knowledge here. I did record that conversation with the Don, but the file got corrupted. And I just assumed I had a save available to go do it again. But I seem to have saved the same file afterwards. Man, that blows. So the one before that is ages old. I guess that's not too bad. Oh well. We'll make do. Fuck you!
I've spoken with the Inquisitor. He'll agree to an armistice in return for some crystal discs. He claims you have some and he wants them. That's his price.
Crystal discs? That is all he seeks. What do these crystal discs do? What power have they?
The Inquisition found a gate buried behind the monastery. It leads into the mountain. The Inquisitor thinks whatever caused these temples to appear is inside the volcano. He thinks the discs open the gate.
But what is behind this gate?
If I knew that, I'd be the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor's convinced the answer to the temples, to the storms, is inside there. And discovering that is in all our interests.
If I let the Inquisitor go inside the mountain and he finds more objects of power, more magic, then that's it. He will control the island. We will stand no chance of ever winning it back. If I stop him entering, we risk the whole island being swallowed by these storms. I was born to make decisions such as this. I will not stand in his way. I will allow him to enter the mountain unopposed, and you shall go with him.
What do you want me to do in there?
The Inquisitor links this gateway with the temples that have risen here. That means there must be gold inside there, and there must be magic. We must take our share of this bounty. And if the Inquisitor is really only interested in all our welfare, he should agree to that.
Do you know where these crystal discs are?
I have one object that matches that description.
Just one? The Inquisitor needs several. And if he's right, and we need to get in there to save the island...
Well, we have a new excavation in a temple to the east, not far from your monastery. Fincher's overseeing an excavation at the large temple to the east, not far from the monastery.
That first line was not supposed to happen.
Maybe one of these discs is there.
But the way those lines were presented, the first one, he clearly was not supposed to say. That line was only supposed to be there if you were with the Inquisition. And then he said the second line that was supposed to happen only if you were a Donsman, so something got a little mixed up there.
What makes you think a disc is in the temple to the east?
Well, can you think of anyone else? Searching a large temple has to make more sense than poking around in the woods. Wouldn't you agree?
So you'll give the disc you have to the Inquisitor?
Inquisitor Mendoza? The mighty Inquisitor Mendoza comes to this island, my island. He marches his men through the streets of my town. He tyrannizes my people and forces them into his service. Yet I am supposed to trust him? Trust a man who has betrayed every promise he's made, even to those of his own faith? No. I will not simply give this disc to him. I need something for me and for my people, if he is to get what he wants.
If we don't trust what he says, what's the alternative?
Bring me the rest of the crystal discs the Inquisitor wants. Once we have all the discs, he will have to deal with us on our terms. Now we know what he wants. We have the upper hand. Get me those discs. Then let us see what tune we can make our Inquisitor dance to.
Well, it's a tall order to think you can blackmail a man like him, but we'll give it a shot. Don's personality was a bit all over the place there. It's a confusing dialogue, not only for the, the lines that were not supposed to occur, but Initially, he seemed very submissive, again, like how he was when you come here as an envoy of the Inquisitor. But then, once you ask if he's given the discs over, he suddenly turns it around completely and is very emphatic that he needs, like, to be sure that the Inquisitor will agree to his terms, and to do that, he wants all the discs in his hand so that we have the upper hand in the negotiations. Which makes sense. So, I don't know. I just feel like the way he got to that point sounded like he was going the other direction at first. But I agree with his approach now. If he, you know, assuming that we're on his side. You all can make your own determinations on the moral question at play here. The one line I didn't understand is the way he declared that the Inquisitor was a man who's broken every promise he's ever made. What proof do you have of that? He's not made any promises to anybody that we know of, let alone broken any, but whatever. The Don is a passionate man with some very fierce opinions, but anyway, that's that. This may be where we part ways with the Donsman save file for a while. Because going forward, things are very iterative. There's not a whole lot of differences between the three guilds, and there really hasn't been much to see with the Warriors of the Order, for that matter. I will have to check to see if they get anything after the initiation and after talking to the Inquisitor. I haven't done that yet, but we'll take a look. And if there is, I will mention it next time. But for now, this is where we leave it. We will start looking for these discs as a mage next time. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and farewell.